Hey everyone, welcome to Meeple Bits. Thanks for joining me for this setup and how-to for the game The Rival Networks. Rival Networks, designed by Gil Hova, published by Formal Ferret Games for 2 players with a playtime of roughly 45 minutes. So join me as we go through this setup and how-to for the game Rival Networks.
Let's take a quick look at the components that are going to come out during the course of play. Here we have the player houses, where you're going to store your viewer tokens, the viewer tokens in 3 and 1 denominations, the time slot markers that are 2-sided to indicate if you've passed the 20 marker on the track, and the ratings tokens are 2-sided, 1 for 1 and 1 for 3. Here we have the time slot tiles, which are the 8, 9, and 10 p.m. time slots in the middle, and the green room, where you're going to put your actors or your stars and your ads, and then reruns, where you're going to put shows that you've replaced in your primary time slots. These are some of the primary cards that are going to come out during the course of play. On the left, we have the starting star cards. This also indicates which player goes first in the game, as indicated in the lower left. In the upper right, will tell you how much it's worth in viewer points. Network cards, up at the top is the name of the type of network action it is. On the upper right, how much in ad revenue must be spent to purchase. And on the bottom, a description of the action that can be done when using this network card. In the middle are the normal stars that you're going to select during the course of play. On the left side, you'll see either 2 or 1 genre icons. This indicates where these stars may be placed on what type of shows. And in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see how many viewer or rating points they're worth to get viewers. Notice these are also normal stars. They've just got a filled-in star on the back of their cards. Next to that are the megastars. These megastar cards are a slightly different hue of purple, and the star has a circle indentation in the middle to indicate that it is a separate megastar. Megastars are wilds. They can be put onto any genre of show and are typically worth more points. And on the right are the ad revenue cards. These ad cards you're going to take during the course of play to spend on network cards. The top 2 cards here, as their icons indicate, will be played in pairs to receive the left value denomination of 5 million. If played individually, it's only worth 2 million. The one on the bottom, if placed in the appropriate time slot, here the daytime time slot, it's worth 3 million. Otherwise, just playing it is worth 2 million. And lastly, we have the season cards, the network cards, and the awards cards. The pilot seasons are the ones that you're going to deal out at the beginning of the game, which we'll cover in just a moment. They have no value in terms of ratings. Season cards, in the upper left you'll notice the genre. In the upper right, the value and ratings if it's put in the appropriate time slot on the left, or if you put it into any time slot, its value on the right. And in the lower right is the bonus when you have 3 or more of the same genre. The season finale cards, which will come up at the end of each season for an additional scoring event. The network card, or the executive cards, which is part of the executive style play, and each of these cards are unique, and they tell you the specific bonus and how to use them. And then lastly, the awards. There should be 3 awards dealt out during the course of game for season 1, 2, and 3, and each of these cards have 3 scoring conditions. Let's go ahead and begin setup for the rival networks. Before you begin, go ahead and put together the houses for each of the blue and yellow colors. Once you've done that, or if you've already done that, go ahead and move forward. When you're ready to begin play, go ahead and give each player a house of their choosing in the color of their choice. Then, take the tiles for your lineup, which should be an 8 p.m., 9 p.m., and 10 p.m. time slot, including a green room, as well as a reruns tile, and go ahead and set them in a line across the table, making sure that the colors are lined up so all the yellow bars are matching and all the yellow bars are matching as well. So notice blue side in a line and yellow side also in a line. Next, take the ratings marker for each player and place them on each of the lineup tiles at the 0 space, making sure the 20 is face down. And now you're ready. Next, take the pilot season cards, shuffle them, and then deal out to each side of the lineup for yellow and blue player 1 card in each of the primary time slots. Next, we're going to create a draw pile for the season cards to start. Take season 1, shuffle them, and add a season finale card to the bottom of this deck. Do the same with season 2, shuffle it, put a season finale card at the bottom, and then take this, placing it at the bottom underneath the season 1 and its finale cards. And then do the same for season 3. So the last card in the entire stack of TV shows should be a season finale card. Go ahead and create a draw pile for this off to the side of the board. Next, we're going to assign who's first and who's second. Take the starter star cards, as indicated here, and then randomly deal them out. You'll notice in the lower left, it tells you who is player 1 and who is player 2. Next, take the megastar cards, as indicated with a star with a circle cut out, shuffle them, and set them off to the side in their own draw pile. Next, take the normal star cards, creating a draw pile, give it a quick shuffle, and then create an area that will have both a draw, a discard, and a space for up to 3 cards to come out. Once you've got that, take the add cards, give them a shuffle, and create a draw pile next to the normal star cards. This is where we're going to draw out 3 pairs that you're going to draw during the play. And lastly, take the network cards, give them a shuffle, and we're going to do the same thing. So you should have network, season, stars, ads, and off to the side, megastars. Now it's time to set up awards. Take the awards night for season 1, season 2, and season 3. Shuffle each of the seasons individually and draw 1 from each of the piles. Season 1 face up, season 2 face up, and then season 3 award will be face down for now. We'll want to make a little bit of room because we need a discard pile for both the stars and ads. Grab all of your viewer tokens and ratings tokens and just create an area of the board where I guess anyone or either player can grab them from the table. If you're playing the executive variant, take the executive cards, deal out 2 to each player, put the rest into the box. Then each player will select 1 of these 2 cards to keep face up in front of them and return the other to the box. Once you've got everything set up and ready to go, begin by pulling out 3 network cards. These are the only network cards that can be selected from on your turn. Then pull out 3 star cards on your turn, and then 3 add cards. These are to be drawn in pairs on your turn, which we'll cover in just a moment. Lastly, pull out 3 season 1 cards. On your turn, when selecting a card from the season pile, you may only select from the 3 that are visible. So I've made an annotation, but these starter cards actually don't go here. And I'm going to switch to be first player, but these cards go over in the green room, not the reruns. So a little mistake there, but I'm going to go ahead and correct it now by placing them kind of off camera where they belong. But once you have everything set up, now you're ready to go. So taking turns. On your turn, you're going to select one of the 3 visible shows to produce on your turn. You may only select from the 3 visible ones from the season. Once you've chosen which one you want, taking note that each of them will give you more rating points if they are in the right time slot. Then you're going to draw a set of stars and ads either from the visible or from the top of each of the decks, and place those stars and ads directly into your green room. Then, on your turn, you can choose to play stars and put them on any single show, and then use your ad revenue to purchase network cards, which can be played now or at any time during your turn. So as I sort of survey what's happening here, on my turn, I'm going to go ahead and take this sci-fi show because I'm looking at the bonus in the 10 p.m. time slot to get me 3 ratings points versus the 1 if I put it somewhere else. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this show from the 10 p.m. time slot, slotting in my new sci-fi show, give myself the 3 ratings points that I've just earned. And then the show that I've just canceled gets put into the reruns section. Then I'm going to survey these and figure out which pair I want to select. Now, I have a sci-fi show, so this one probably makes sense, since I'll likely want to put this star onto the sci-fi show. Now, these go directly into your green room. So once you've drawn them, add them over to your green room. Now what I'm going to do here is play the star card that I just took, which is the 2 right here, and he's eligible for a sci-fi show. So I'm going to put him right on top of the show, and then move myself up an additional 2 ratings points in this time slot. So 2 here, 2 here. Then I'm going to take my viewer points, which is 2 viewers since my marker has crossed those thresholds. So I'll take my 2 tokens and put them over into my house. Then you can choose to buy a network card. Now, I don't have enough ad revenue with just this 1 card because I need a pair for it to be worth 5 million, so it's only worth 2. So I'm not really going to buy any network cards on this turn, but I may in the future. Once your turn is complete, replace the season card, the star card, and the ad card. Now it's the next player's turn. So on their turn, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to choose a face-up show from the pile. They're going to choose a star that they want, as well as the ad that's going to go along with it, and then bring them into their hand. So the turn order stays the same, and then choose to buy a network if they want. Once you've developed a 3rd show in any genre, you can now get its genre bonus. So for sci-fi, for example, its genre bonus is to receive 2 ad cards, as indicated here on the reference. So take a look at these whenever scoring your bonuses so that you know exactly what to get. So for this one, the bonuses are scored when you have at least 3 across all of your lineup and in your green room. So this one gets me 2 ad cards. So I'll take 2 ad cards for having a sci-fi bonus, assuming that I have 3 throughout. Additionally, if I were to say get a 4th one, then I'll take the bonus again. Same thing with a 5th one. Anytime it's over 3, you'll get the bonus. So once it's time to do end of season scoring, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward to that now. So let's just distribute out cards into to the green rooms, or sorry, into the rerun section. Once this season finale card becomes available, and this is what's available to choose from, the player whose turn can either select it or continue to pick one of the other shows available to try to score more points. But keep in mind that you cannot select a Season 2 until this card has been chosen by a player. So let's say I were to pick it up. That person's going to sort of end the season. And this is where you're going to do some end of season bonuses. So the person that is ahead in the ratings track in each of the 3 time slots would score 1 viewer for each of these zones that they're ahead in. So here I'm ahead in 1, so I would get 1, and if I'm ahead in 2, I would get 2. Then the player that does not have any advancements on the ratings tracks would receive a star card, so they would pull it from the top of this deck. Then we're ready to go into the awards scoring. So let's take a quick peek at Season 1 awards. The top one being win the 10 p.m. time slot, gain 1 viewer. So I'm currently ahead in the 10 p.m. time slot, so I would take 1 viewer into my hand. The next one is have exactly 1 reality show in your lineup. So again, notice that the lineup is over here, not the reruns. So I see that yellow player does have a reality show in their lineup. So they would receive the bonus and take 1 viewer into their hand. And then lastly, if you didn't win any time slots, you would take a star card. And then you're going to reveal the Season 3 awards so that you can sort of plan ahead as best as possible. So now it's time to prepare the next season. So you want to clean up anything left from Season 1 and just set it off into discard. You want to clean up any visible network cards, tossing them to the side. Discard pile. Then you want to clean up the stars and revenue and the ad cards before bringing it out. But one quick correction. In the last season, whoever took that season finale would still get a star and ad combo. Then go ahead and clean up the cards, putting them in the discard. Once complete, draw out the 3 cards, much like you did for Season 1, for Season 2. Draw out 3 network cards, the same as the start of Season 1, and then draw out pairs of stars and ad cards, again, just like Season 1. So you're going to do this for the end of Season 2 and again for the end of Season 3, except at the end of Season 3 you're not going to need to do a cleanup. So once you get down through Season 2 and Season 3, and then the last season finale card is available to be selected, you're going to do final scoring, so season finale scoring as well as Season 3 awards scoring. Then you're ready for endgame scoring. The player should take the viewer tokens that are inside their houses now, add them up completely. So here, I just have 3, but the player with the most viewer tokens in their houses at the end of the game is the winner. And that's it. That's the Rival Networks, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this setup and how-to. If you have any questions, just let me know. I'm going to go ahead and break down the table and bring you guys my afterthoughts.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that setup and how-to for the game The Rival Networks. So let's go ahead and jump right into my afterthoughts of the game. First, I'm going to go ahead and address the, components in the box and everything in it. The components in the cards are fine. The cards are actually really nice, but the chit tokens are just okay. You guys know for me, I do enjoy wooden pieces or plastic pieces, something a little bit sturdier, because punchboard I find often can fray and start to peel a little bit. With that aside, the box insert, or lack thereof, is a massive frustration for me. Reason being is because it's a card game primarily. So one, there are no extra baggies in the box. So when you're done, you can't organize, efficiently the stars versus the seasons versus the money versus the executives or versus the TV shows, none of that. So one, you got to go out and pick up your own baggies. Not a huge issue, but 2, there isn't even an insert with areas to store the cards. So by default, what do they expect us to just throw it in the box and put caution into the wind? Anyway, that aside, that's, I guess, a gripe unto itself. So the game, why I really enjoyed playing this one is because, first of all, there are really 3 ways that you can tackle this game, which I thought was pretty cool. You've got what they call intern, then you got the normal, and then you got the executive level. The intern kind of scales it back a little bit in terms of play. Normal gives you that sort of core setup, and then the executives introduces this, I guess what I'll akin to corporations in terraforming Mars. So each player has their own executive. That way they can have a special power or ability that they can leverage, whenever the card says, usually once per season. So that, I guess, I don't even want to call it an expert play, but that to me is how you should play the game. In all the playthroughs, I definitely enjoyed playing with the executives better. It sort of just added this extra mechanic. And there's enough executive cards to provide variety between the players because you're dealing 2, choosing 1. So really good. But on that note of variety, one of my, I guess, drawbacks for the game ultimately was I didn't feel that there was enough TV shows or even variety thereof. So I would have liked to have seen more cards of different styles or different varieties. Now, I understand that there's just 6 genres to choose from in the TV shows, but again, just a wider variety would have been nicer. Same with the awards, because that's the element, that award element in each of the 3 seasons is really what's going to give the variation between the gameplays and the playthroughs. So there should have been more awards because, again, you're shuffling 3 or 4 awards for each season. I forget exactly how many, and then randomly picking 1. So more of those would have really helped out with continued replayability. But that aside, I think that there's still actually going to be a lot of good replayability for me because the core mechanics were really solid. The gameplay really tight and buttoned up and easy enough to get through. There were some small issues with verbiage on the cards that I guess I did have to go to BGG, but the designer was nice enough to answer the questions that were being asked of the game, so that was super helpful. So if you have questions, at least there are the same questions being asked and answered online for you guys. Why should you add this game to your collection? Well, you love a 2-player optimized game like me. So if you enjoy those style games, 7 Wonders, Duel, Targi, anything that is geared towards 2 players specifically, Rival Networks I would definitely recommend, because this I will 100% keep in my rotation of that sort of, dual game for 2 players. Another reason to add it to your collection is because the artwork is so damn fun. I am a huge fan of this, and much like the networks, when I was just browsing a game store, before I even knew what the game was or what it was about, as I was walking across the wall, it jumped out at me and it kind of grabbed me, and I was like, oh, what's this game? So same with the Rival Networks, it's got that fun art style, and the TV shows and the names and the play on just everything is really well done. A reason you may not want to add this to your collection, though, is for reasons that I've sort of described before, which is the replayability and variety may not be that great. Now, I've got to get a bunch more playthroughs, obviously, to decide that, but overall, like I said, I think more awards would have gone a long way for this one. But otherwise, a really solid 2-player game. So those are my thoughts on this one, guys. If you've played the game or if you have any questions about it, please leave a comment down below. I'm happy to answer it the best way that I can. If you've enjoyed the content and you want to continue to show your support, I do appreciate that. Please feel free to leave a like and subscribe. As always, until next time, thanks so much for watching.